Alright, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect. This is another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. Um, I have an article from the SHTFplan.com. And just going to go into these different plays and stuff that's been reported to be spreading across the U.S. I did a previous video pertaining to the plague, and this is just more information. Um, Now, this article is entitled "CDC Issues Warning: Doctors on Alert for Bubonic Plague. There is a heightened risk. We don't want people to panic." This is dated August 31st, 2015. I think in the previous one, I had spoke about the pneumonic plague. All right. So I'm just gonna go into it and bring out a couple of scriptures. It says since April 2015. It says since April 2015, 11 cases of plague have been recorded in the U.S. and 3 people have died, leaving the CDC no other recourse but to issue a warning to alert doctors of potential cases that may arise. All right. So this is coming from the CDC. All right. To alert these doctors. Now, like I said, there's been cases of different plagues popping up all over the U.S. recently. Um, you still got certain cases of Ebola in West Africa and in other places, and you had this Legionnaire's disease outbreak in New York. Um, uh, you had this measles outbreak in California and other Western states. Now, there's different diseases. Not, it's, the whole big thing with Ebola was that was the supposedly the big scare to get everybody, you know, ready for mass death in America. But as you can see, there's going to be different outbreaks of different diseases all over this country that certain people are going to have. So you got to be aware. All right. It says there is a heightened risk. It says it is unclear why the number of cases in 2015 is higher than usual. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says many of the cases are occurring in rural and semi-rural areas in the western United States. All right, so you can get a idea of where these cases are taking place. And this is all prophecy, man. These are all uh, prophecies taking place. That's the will of the Most High. Okay, because the scriptures talk about Egypt being overtaken with plagues. Okay, it happened in ancient Egypt, and it's going to happen again in this new spiritual Egypt, America. Okay, and it's going to affect everybody, but mainly it's going to affect these Edomites and other nations. But also 2/3 of you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're going to be dying from these diseases as well. Okay. As a matter of fact, while I mention that scripture, I'm gonna get it. Wait for a second. Here we go. This is Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 13. It says, "For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence." All right, and them that's going to be punished is the Israelites, but also those that live here in America as well. Okay, it says verse 14, "So that none of the remnant of Judah which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall escape or remain," because two thirds are going to be destroyed here. All right, that they should return into the land of Judah, because the elect of Israel, when Yahweh Shah returns, he's going to beam up the elect of Israel into what the white man calls UFOs, the chariots of Israel in the scriptures. We're going to get beamed up, the elect, okay, well, willing, and then the rest of Israel is going to be left here to be destroyed and burned up in the thermonuclear holocaust. Okay, it says it says so that none of the remnant of Judah which are going into the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall escape or remain, that they should return into the land of Judah, to the which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return, but such as shall escape. Okay, and the only ones that's going to escape is the remnant of Israel, the elect. Okay, so going back to this article, all right, it says many of the cases are occurring in rural and semi-rural areas in the western United States. The report lists 2 cases in Arizona, 1 in California, 4 in Colorado, 1 in Georgia, 2 in New Mexico, and 1 in Oregon. The cases in California and Georgia have been linked to areas in or near Yosemite National Park in the southern Sierra Nevada. Okay. It says Dr. Natalie Quitt of the CDC emphasizes we don't want people to panic, but we do want them to be aware of the heightened risk. And this is just going to lead to more people adopting the Obamacare and really more legislation for mandatory vaccines to get pushed. All right, which these vaccines, and it's been brought up before by the prophets of the Most High. Okay, that these vaccines contain the virus in them. Same thing with Ebola and the rest of these different so-called viruses and illnesses that take place. You know these different schools, these school systems require students at a certain age to get these different shots and vaccines, all right, before they can enter into the school for the school year that year. All right, that's going to be a nationwide thing. Okay, it's going to be mandatory. All right, it says now this is a map reported cases of human plague, United States, 1970 to 2012. You can see most of it is here in these red dots, which is mainly occurring in the western United States, which is right now is under something called Jade Ham 2015. So all these things are going to eventually correlate. Okay, you got a lot of things happening out there in the western United States. Uh, it says the CDC has recorded 1,006 confirmed or probable human plague cases occurred in the United States between 1900 and 2012. Over 80% of United States plague cases have been the bubonic form. The plague is a rare and dangerous disease caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis and passed from humans by infected fleas and rodents, typically in the wild. Many may remember how the Black Death killed around 30 to 60% of the population in Europe, which is about 2/3 of the ruling so-called black people of Europe at the time, around the late 1400s. Okay, and it's making this manifestation back here again. All right, it says these days the bacteria is typically treated with antibiotics. With many antibiotic-resistant strains of bacteria occurring, this begs the question: will this plague rampantly spread like it once did? And that's a good question. And the question is yes. Okay, amongst other diseases, the types of plague to look out for. Healthcare providers should consider the diagnosis of plague in any patient with compatible signs or symptoms. Residents or travel in the western United States and recent proximity to rodent habitats or direct contact with rodents or ill domestic animals like dogs and cats, the CDC says in this report. It says although the bubonic plague is the most common form that occurs in the United States, there are 3 types of the plague to be aware of, and the names the bubonic plague, the septicemic plague, and the pneumonic plague. Okay. Matter of fact, since I mentioned the pneumonic plague, I'm just going to read a little bit of it. It says pneumonic plague is the most serious form of the disease and is the only form of plague that can be spread from person to person by infectious droplets. So these are just things you got to look out for. All right, in the coming weeks and months. All right. Like I said, these things are all prophesied in the Bible. All right. First scripture I'm gonna get is Leviticus 26 and 21, because this is mainly the bubonic plague mainly affected Israelites that were ruling in Europe during the 1400s. All right. Um, but that's going back to the curses of Israel. Right. So this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 21. It says, "And if you walk contrary to me," meaning the Most High, speaking to Israel. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go up and I'm gonna read go up and I'm gonna read. Go up and I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read the first first verse. It says, "Ye shall make no idols, no graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God." So this is the Most High speaking to the Israelites, and this is what He's told them in the 21st verse. It says, "And if you walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sins." And one of those plagues was the bubonic plague, but now you got different strands and these other diseases out here that's gonna destroy 2/3 of our people. Okay, and this was reiterated in the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 61. I'm gonna read verse 60. It says, "Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee." Okay, unto Israel. "Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, like the bubonic plague, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed." All right. So those Israelites out here, so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and their descendants, you have to take heed to this information. All right, because the only way you're going to be saved from these different plagues and these coming disasters is if you come back to your true nationality, as being Israelites, and start keeping the commandments. All right. Um, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. Matter of fact, I'm going to read verse 7. It says, "Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears and in the ears of all the people." Verse 8. "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And myself, I'm prophesying to you as a prophet of the Lord now, okay, for you to hearken and listen, for all people, not just Israel, but all these different nations to be condemned, okay, that war is coming, evil is coming, and pestilence." And that's another word for these diseases and plagues out here. Okay, they're coming. All right. But with that, I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna leave a link to the article as usual, so brothers can get a more insight on what effect this bubonic plague may actually have. Um, with that, I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. As always, peace and blessings to the elect. And Lord willing, I see you on the next lesson. Shalom.